Yo, what's going on, guys? Back for the Saturday slate. Hopefully, you guys all had a great Friday of DFS. Able to sneak in for our fifth straight win in baseball with a 118 last night. The pitchers did good, Duffy and Jackson. Hitters did pretty good, except didn't get much from my outfield besides Cruz. With the Cincinnati game looking really bad, I tweeted out that I was going to go to Michael Brantley to finish off the Cleveland stack, but he didn't do anything. He was 0 for 6. And then I went Mike Trout because nobody was talking about Mike Trout the whole day. And I knew he was going to be very low owned. He was only about 5% owned. And he's just way too good of a player to be that low owned because everybody was paying up for Mookie Betts and JD Martinez. So I was hoping Mike Trout could do something, but he didn't. But a win's a win, I'll take it. Now we're up to 5 straight wins in baseball. Going for 6 on this Saturday. If you want to join us for that mission, you can hit up the website, thedfsprocess.com. Let's continue killing it. We got a nice slate for Saturday, 11 games. Pitching, we do have a lot of stud options, but we do also have a lot of offenses to target. Specifically, the Indians' offense. Going to go right back to them against Bartolo Colon. Colon, as you just look at the numbers for Colon, he just gives up way too many home runs, and the Indians just have so much power. Colon's given up 22 home runs already this season. He gives them up to righties and lefties throughout his career. So you can do a full stack of the Indians, and the Indians do hit better versus righties. Like if you're going to stack the Indians, you want to stack them versus the righties because that's when Yonder Alonso is in the lineup. That's when Kipnis has a better platoon matchup. That's when Michael Brantley has a better platoon matchup. Because against lefties, they're bottom of the lineup, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just does not look good most nights. That's why they usually score a lot more runs versus righties, versus a bad righties than a bad lefty. But first at pitcher, like I mentioned, we do have a lot of stud options. I'm also just ignoring the Washington game and the Phillies game completely because the weather is probably going to be a factor in both of those games, so I'm not going to waste my time with those picks. If anything changes, I'll post updated picks in the comment section and on Twitter. But pitcher, yeah, we do have stud options if you want to pay up. I do not want to pay up because I want to play the Indian bats today. And so I'm starting off with Felix Hernandez at 7,000. It's a good matchup for him against the White Sox. The White Sox are not a very good offense. Now they're going into a pretty good pitcher's ballpark. Hernandez has not been great this year. He hasn't been great this season. ERA's above 5, but he does have some upside, and I think this is a good spot for him. He's only 7,000. At home, he pitches a lot better just because I know a fly ball pitcher that, Safeco usually eats those up. Only his ERA is way down at home, and he did put up 18 against this White Sox team. They do strike out a lot. We just saw LeBlanc have double-digit strikeouts against them, and I never thought LeBlanc would be capable of that. But King Felix getting well-rested. Hopefully he feels fresh coming out of the gate. His stuff should be fresh. Should have velocity on that stuff. And I think at 7,000 makes a lot of sense today. Second pitcher I like is... so I forgot to mention, please be sure to drop a like on the video and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. But for the second pitcher, I like John Gant at $5,700. So he hasn't started a lot of games this season, but when he does start, he pitches really well. Even in relief, he usually pitches well. Like last start, it wasn't even a start. He came in for Mikolas, who got shelled, but he still put up 20 DraftKings points against the Reds in just 61 pitches. And now getting a start, he should be back to some of the games where he throws 90-plus pitches. But he has good stuff. His ERA is very low this season. He has good strikeout stuff as well. And this is a doubleheader for the Cubs and Cardinals. So the second half, the second game, the Cubs might have a weaker lineup than the earlier game because the Cubs do have good offense. I usually don't like picking on the Cubs, but $5,700 for John Gant, who's been really good this season. And the conditions for this game are really favorable for pitchers. So I think makes a lot of sense at $5,700. Does have a lot of upside and allows you to spend up on some of the bats because besides him, we don't have another pitcher that's very cheap that's in a good spot. So that's why I love John Gant here at just $5,700. Second base, let's start out with Jason Kipnis at $4,100. Going right back to the Indians, like I mentioned, Kipnis is looking good. He's looking really good lately. He had hit a home run with 2 hits yesterday. And he has a lot better numbers versus right-handed pitching throughout his career versus righties. Throughout his career, he's hitting .271 with a .438 slugging percentage. The conditions for this game, once again, are favorable. Favor the hitters, once again, it's supposed to be super hot in Arlington once again. And I expect the Indians to put up another monstrous number here against the Bartolo, I do not think will handle the heat very well. Third base, I'm just going to continue playing Jose Ramirez. He has just been super hot lately, just been the best hitter in baseball for parts of the season. And last night he showed that once again. It's a better matchup for him against Colon. He does have better power numbers versus right-handed pitching than left-handed pitching. And he's just red hot right now, first in the league to 30 home runs. You got to give it up to Ramirez. He's having a remarkable season. And I think at third base, he's definitely well above the field. If you're going to pay up, you might as well pay up all the way than Ramirez. This season, he has a .669 slugging percentage versus righties and over a 1,000 OPS. And a 370 ISO. So he absolutely demolishes right-handed pitching. And at 5,900, I want to pay up for him once again in another prime spot against Colon. In the outfield, let's start off with Eddie Rosario at 4,900. I like Rosario a lot. I play him quite a bit versus righties. He does have amazing numbers versus righties. He's been red hot going into the break. Came out of the break with a hit. But this is a great matchup against Junis. Junis is coming off a bit of an injury, and Junis just is not a good job at keeping the ball in the ballpark. And for DFS hitters, that's usually what we like to target, guys with power, facing guys that have a hard time containing home runs. And this season versus righties, Rosario's just been amazing with a 255 ISO, a 369 on base percentage, 322 average, and a 576 slugging percentage. And Junis has given up a lot of home runs to lefties and righties, so you can stack up the Twins as well if you're stacking multiple teams. The Twins are definitely in play today. And then last but not least, I'm going to go back to Nelson Cruz at 4,200 against Dylan Covey, who has not been good this season at all. He's been destroyed lately. Teams have really figured him out than earlier in the season where he had a couple of good starts, but he's back to the 2017 version of Dylan Covey, and Nelson Cruz is the one Mariner that I feel like is way too underpriced right now. For this matchup, he should be close to 5,000, if not above 5,000, but we're getting him at only 4,200, and he does have so much power. One of the best power hitters in baseball, and Covey he gives up a lot of just hard contact to righties. That I think Cruz at 4,200 makes a lot of sense if you're looking for a mid-range to cheap outfielder. So even though the ballpark's not great, I think Cruz just has so much power that I love him in this spot at 4,200. So those are 6 plays I like for tonight. As always, if you want to join us, you can visit the website link in the description. Please be sure to drop a like if you enjoyed, and good luck today.